Hello, folks. Once again, another fine day of Ned's Coffee and Quarantine here on Rock 108. You've seen these guys and heard these guys plenty of times on Rock 108, and I had to wake them up this morning because I forget that we're in like different time zones. So 11 a.m. Central Time is a little bit different when it's on the other side of the country. So I'm very happy to have a slightly awake Black Moods with me here on the Coffee and Quarantine today. What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Good morning.
You guys, first of all, I want to give you a little bit of a compliment on your quality of video. I mean, I've done a few of these, and the video's pretty good, but this one looks like, I don't know if you're using like an iPhone X or something like that. What are you using?
MacBook Air.
It's the 8-track plus.
Okay, good.
We're in a pretty well lit room right now, too. Living room right now, so it's a lot of lights.
Now, I'm kind of curious. Now, I don't have a lot of bands with me on this thing that are all together in one place. Do you guys all live in the same house?
Pretty much.
Pretty much-ish. I'm kind of down the road, so it's easier to kind of come right here with everybody.
Everybody's got girlfriends they get to go stay with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, there's the benefit, man. So they all got the ladies.
None of us pay rent.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say that does look like a beautiful house. Before we jumped on this Ned's Coffee and Quarantine thing, we were talking about how I'm currently in the market for looking for a house. So now I'm curious, what got you into that house and how long did it take you to find it?
This is our HQ, actually. This is the labels.
What's the labels?
This is our headquarters.
Yeah, so we come here for all our meetings and that kind of thing. So we just here. And we sleep here sometimes. So,
well,
it's not too shabby.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking in the back there. The kitchen looks great. You know, we got a nice kitchen. I see some TV. There's like a surround. Look at the windows, man. It's got like this nice open concept.
Yeah, the patio out here, they call it the fishbowl because it's in the middle of all this this cool like Scottsdale swanky apartment stuff. So.
Oh man, maybe I'm looking in the wrong place or something, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it is 106 today outside.
Yeah. There's pluses and minuses, but we have a kitchen, which is amazing.
That's cool. You can cook.
Yeah, because we usually stay at the studio a lot, and it's got everything you need, but a full kitchen, and this has an awesome kitchen.
Yeah,
and we all like to cook.
Yeah, man. What are you guys cooking? What's some of your frequent meals?
He just invented one last night or 2 nights ago because he was going to make spaghetti, and he come down to get there. He put the final ingredient in and forgot the
pasta sauce.
Pasta sauce.
Oh man.
Yeah, and I have sausage and everything, and it's a really good thing. And I was looking around, I found this half empty jar of green chili, dumped it in there, and poof,
worked out great.
It was awesome.
It sounds good. I mean, hey, I'll give it that. I'm more of a sauce man myself, but now I want to try Chico's delicious spaghetti.
Yeah.
What did we call it? Chico's Mexican Sketty.
Yeah. Mexican Sketty.
All part of the new book coming out, the Black Moods Cookbook.
Well, actually, that's what we're talking about too. I think we're going to do something like that.
Yeah.
We all like to cook. So.
I'm a breakfast guy. I'm like all about cooking breakfast. Anything else, I just leave up to these guys.
Oh yeah. Well, lay it on me, brother. What kind of breakfast are you cooking?
Dude, I do like the breakfast sandwiches. You got to do like the bacon, egg, and cheese. Egg with muffin. Maybe a little bit of spicy brown mustard on there. Right, Chad?
And I'm a sweet guy. I like doing the French toast. I could really make some French toast.
And Bailey's and coffee.
Bailey's and coffee.
That's the Black Moods morning.
I like a little coffee with my Baileys.
That's right.
It's infused with the coffee. So when Josh makes the coffee, we already know that
it's party time in the morning with breakfast sandwiches and Chico's special spaghetti.
Green chili spaghetti, yeah.
Green chili spaghetti.
Well,
so
like that, it doesn't sound very appetizing.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. But hey, I'm willing to try anything once, man. I mean, why not? So we can sit here and talk about breakfast and the special green chili spaghetti. Let's get professional for a minute, I suppose. You got a brand new single out there that we're playing here on Rock 108, Sunshine. And I remember when you guys were in the studio and you played that acoustic. And after you guys were done, all of a sudden me and Russ were both like, that's the next single, man. That has to be the next single. And lo and behold, it became the single, which is awesome as hell. Now, I'm trying to remember when you were playing that here at Rock 108, was that the plan to make that the next song?
Well, we knew it was going to be the lead single to kick off the album because we weren't quite sure when we were going to release the record yet.
Yeah.
Because this has been a couple years. The record's taken us a while. It's been a labor of love for sure. So we always kind of we were hoping that this would be the one to really jump on the charts sooner than the others. Just because it has we always played that secondary whenever we'd come through it, like doing the other radio promos and stuff. So we pretty much had the same feeling you did.
Yeah.
It's just the sing along, and we're lucky. I mean, we're not lucky because of all the stuff that's happening right now, but it's a really positive song for the times.
And that just happened by coincidence.
Yeah, it, in a way, it just kind of worked out. And I think right now, especially with the kind of music in the world that we're kind of living in right now, with the quarantine and everything like that, people need that kind of uplifting feel. And you think of like when the winter just got done, and obviously you guys are in 106-degree weather right now. But here in Iowa, for example, like it was kind of a sluggy type of winter. And when you have a song like Sunshine kind of pop up, it's like, yeah, all right, man, I feel good about this now.
Well, our designer, they did the art for our album. She texted us the other day and thought it was so funny because if you go and look on because we broke Billboard, we hit Billboard this week,
Yeah.
And on all the pictures of the bands that show up, they're all great. Don't get me wrong, but like all the pictures are dudes like dark and brooding, and then our artwork has a little girl jumping rope and like a rainbow.
It's that positivity we need, man. It's down there, but you just got to dig a little bit and you'll find it. So you said that the album, like you said, is kind of a labor of love, and it's taken you a while for it to kind of get to the point it's at. So where is it at now? Like, what's the next step?
It's done. It's here on Friday, tomorrow. Wow, already?
Oh my gosh!
Oh wow.
The record drops tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Saturday we do a release party. Live stream on Facebook Live, and that's 8 o'clock Pacific time.
Oh, that's very exciting, man.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock, so we'll get it right back at you.
Yeah, all right, good. So I'm a huge guy for physical media. Obviously it's going to be streaming. It's going to be on Spotify, probably all those places too. So are you guys going to be doing any kind of like special packages like CDs? Are you going to be doing vinyl for it? Do you know?
We just got our test pressing for it. It's the only way I want to listen to their album now because, we've been listening to it. At this point, we've heard it a million times. But the first time we put the vinyl on and listened to it, I could just listen to it over and over.
Yeah,
again.
me too.
It's just brand new to me.
Yeah.
Crackling and every now and then you get a little skip. Like,
and it's just so, when we were in the studio, it started playing and it got like halfway through the record. It started skipping. We were like, yeah.
We made it.
Yes.
That's got to be kind of surreal, man. I mean, that's something that I've always wanted to have is my voice in some way or music. I don't care, whatever. Pressed to vinyl. So, I mean, imagine you guys growing up when you were kids listening to some of your favorite albums on vinyl, and now you have your own, which has got to be kind of like a unique way to be like, wow, man, I can't believe it's kind of gotten to this point.
What's crazy is like growing up, my aunt and uncle had the 45 of Take Me Home Tonight by Eddie Money. And me and my cousins just wore that out. I don't know if there's a B-side on it because we just played that same one over and over. But that was like one of my favorite. I remember it sounding so good when I was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Since then, just like, actually, there's another cut on the record that we recorded at Third Man in Nashville at Jack White's place. 1940s recording booth that burns straight to vinyl. So we went in there and just all three of us shoved ourselves in this
it's like
booth.
a phone booth. Literally, we're sticking our heads in it.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, we actually put that on the record too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that Jack White, I mean, he's got like a record shop in Detroit, Michigan. Obviously, he has Third Man Records in Nashville and stuff. He's really been a big like guy moving forward with kind of the rebirth of vinyl, like making and even creating jobs in that aspect and just kind of bringing it back to not just digital code on your Spotify playlist, but more personal, more you had something in your hand, and that's what's really cool what Jack has been doing lately. It's awesome. It's cool to see.
His business plan and his whole thing is something to follow if you're getting in the business, because he's got so much integrity. It's insane.
Yeah. And another thing, speaking of Jack White too, I mean, he's a guy. I mean, obviously everyone knows the White Stripes, Seven Nation Army, Icky Thump, all that. But aside from that, Jack White has always been that guy that always looks kind of mysterious. He always has like a hat on or whatever it may be. And you never think of him to be like that guy that's like he's not like a Gene Simmons. He's not that at all. But business-wise, absolutely. I mean, he just understands so much of what to do and how he wants to do it. He does it the Jack White way.
Right.
So yeah. Anyway, we can see. I'm going to sit here and gush about Jack White. I was hanging out with for Mash just anew on this thing, and we were gushing about Eminem.
Oh wow, nice.
That's how we roll, dude. So, I look at Chico's arm, by the way. Something I've been trying to kind of before this whole quarantine thing began, I was working on a tattoo. And I love asking people about tattoos and ink. Chico, what's your favorite tattoo on you, and how long have you had that? Or do you want more tattoos, or what do you got?
Hold on. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I love all my tattoos. I mean, they all mean something to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of life, the way I think about it. It's like a timestamp. But one thing that we all have, I don't know if you could see it, but is
yeah.
And we all have one because that's
yeah.
And even our label, the owners, they got them too. We were all in Vegas. It was Happens last year.
Mm-hmm.
We got them all done at the same time, and towards the first top 40 hit that we've ever had. So we put it on our bodies. So that one definitely means a lot.
It's kind of like having a kid, like it's your first kid. Like, yeah, there it is. It's right on me.
And I also have his foot right there because I have a son.
Oh, of course, yeah. See, just like that, yeah.
Yeah, so.
Perfect. Well, Josh, in the middle there, I saw something else on your arm as well, too. I think on your right arm, I got
what they call a terrible guitar tattoo.
Terrible guitar tattoo.
Yeah, Chico and our other producer, they had this buddy in town. They're like, "You got to use Jeff, and I love him to death. But he really kind of fell asleep halfway through this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell do you guys do? And they're like, sorry, guy. And I'm like, and it's huge. But the funny thing is, I set in an acoustic set with Candlebox a few years ago.
Yeah.
And for sound check, Kevin, the singer, got a new guitar player at the time. So we were sitting down to do sound check, and he's like, oh, Mike, this is Josh. Josh, this is Mike. And Mike, the first thing he said is like, hey, man, I got a really terrible Les Paul tattoo on my arm, too. And I'm like, thanks, great. All right.
It makes you feel just a little bit better about it, right?
I'm not alone in this bad guitar tattoos.
Well, now, Josh, not Josh. Who am I talking about? Jordan. Josh and Jordan, you're freaking me out. Now, Jordan, how about you, man? What do you got on your arm? What you got going? Or do you have anything?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I like elephants. I'm a big elephant guy. This is my favorite one. Yeah, that same guy that did Chico's arm did my arm as well, and he did a good job. I like little, small, intricate work,
Yeah, oh, absolutely, man. And how long? I'm kind of curious. How long did that tattoo on your arm take? Because I'm looking to get a sleeve, and it's around 125 an hour, and I'm like, okay, how much is this going to cost me? I'm also trying to buy a house here.
Yeah.
Well, the elephant was like 3 hours, like 3.5 hours. Or so.
Just 3? Okay, then I have. All right, so maybe a sleeve won't cost as much as I think.
Yeah. It just depends on who it is and how much work they want to do, like the color and stuff. The black and white, the black is pretty much the easiest once they starting to get into shading and stuff. Like they're really take their time. And
mine is a sleeve, but this was over a few years.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
The longest part right here, and that was 6 hours.
Okay, yeah.
And this was a different artist and a different artist, so
just kind of piecing it together.
Yeah, and it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I love about work, man. I have a Nintendo controller on my arm. It kind of comes down here. And it
plugged into you?
What's that?
It's like plugged into your skin.
Yeah, it is. It goes right in. And I want to expand this. So that's a whole nother tattoo. But then because the late 90s and early 2000s were something, I have a tribal armband on this side. I'm just like, no.
I never trusted those because who knows really what they are saying,
I don't know. It was with an ex-girlfriend at the time. She's like, that'd be so hot. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. The guy giving you the tattoo is laughing. It's like going,
Yeah, he's like texting all the time.
he's like, look what I'm doing to this guy.
Look at this sucker. He's totally not going to get laid tonight, probably. I don't know. Oh, God. That's one I hope to get altered with the sleeve. But that's the thing I've been trying to decide. I'm like, do I want to do like a full color sleeve or like do shades of black and white, because you can get some really cool detail of shades of black.
Well, in the color, it's kind of like breast implants. You got to go back every few years and get it redone.
That's a very good point. I will look at that from this point forward. I'm like, Josh told me like color tattoos are like breast implants. You got to go back and get shot up every once in a while.
I assure you that is the case. I mean, what I'm told.
That's what. How do you know?
I had mine removed because they were so uncomfortable.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So you guys are personally stuck in quarantine, and like you said, this is a very interesting time for bands, especially because you have a brand new CD dropping here, and normally when you have a CD or an album dropping, you have a big party. You have a CD release show, a CD tour, whatever it may be, which has got to be kind of a bummer because you're releasing that album. But I mean, you're obviously doing your best to make sure everyone's safe and everything. You can't bring people to concerts, but you're doing this virtual concert. So what kind of stuff do you have kind of going for that?
Well, we play. There's a big festival that happens in Mexico that we play every year called Circus Mexicus.
Mm-hmm.
And there's about 6,000 to 7,000 people that go down for that, and the company that's putting that on are based out of Phoenix here.
Mm-hmm.
So they went ahead and at their warehouse set up the same stage lights, video, and are like welcoming to bands. And so we're going to be doing it there. It's got a big, it's going to be a big thing.
Yeah, full electric, full band.
Yeah,
lighting.
it's a big production. We were just actually having rehearsals all week, and then some of the production team came last night. We're going over, ideas and all that kind of stuff. So tonight is tear down from studio. Tomorrow's load in and sound check, and that's going to take all night.
Mm-hmm.
But we're definitely, we can't do what we wanted. We were actually going to bring in lighting and production for Marquee Theater here on the same day. That's not happening. So this is the next best thing, and it's going to be really
And
cool.
we've got the one designated guy because it's so awkward in between songs when there's no noise. So we've got what's called the applause cam, and so we've got to one guy just angrily clapping for us after
yeah, that guy. Everyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. So put some humor into it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You have to though, you have to find the humor in even like in not every single bad situation, but in this kind of situation, you have to be like, there's got to be some kind of smiles here, man. Like, because here we are, we're a band, we're performing live for one guy, obviously digital as well too, so everyone's going to be able to watch it. But you just got to be like, this is the best we can do right now, guys. But don't worry, we're going to be back. It's going to happen. We just got to have some patience, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the big things that's been disappointing the hell out of me, and you guys, I remember last year, you guys played Rock USA in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. So many of these big rock festivals being canceled, being pushed back to next year. And I don't know about you, but just something about a live rock festival and seeing like the vibe of people and having fun and having that being taken away is just like such a bummer, man.
Mm-hmm. Punch in the gut for sure.
We were in Tornadoes, last year, and I would go back there right now to do that.
If I remember right, it was your dad's drum set, Josh, that almost blew away.
Hey, I hope he doesn't see that. He'll take it back. I didn't tell him that part.
Yeah, he has no idea that happened.
See, well, now he's probably going to watch this, and you know what, Chico, just making some green chili spaghetti. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if my dad knows how to work a computer, so it's good.
Okay, then we're good.
The internet.
So you said you've been doing a couple of these Zoom meetings and stuff like that. If I've learned anything about being a radio guy, which is every day, but if I learned anything about being a radio guy, I think from this point forward, when I interview artists or actors or whatever it may be, I think it just has to be Zoom meetings from this point forward. Don't get me wrong, phones are great, but I feel like this whole quarantine situation has really taught me, like, dude, got to do a Zoom meeting because I'm seeing you face to face. That's just so much more genuine than like, hello, do you hear me?
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're learning these too. We've had to do a few of them, and then this and the live streaming with the music and stuff like that. We've had to kind of go towards the video way of things, and we're all about music. So we teach ourselves a few things about how to do all this. So it's cool.
Yeah. So obviously we're all kind of stuck in quarantine. I'm in my second bedroom here. I kind of cleaned it up a little bit for you guys. I've got a guitar over there, a Virtual Boy over here, and all my weird, crazy, nerdy shit.
Is that your bed behind you when your old lady? Is that your bed behind you when your old lady throws you out?
No, that's my terrible Target futon that I bought for like $260, and it sucks. It's so bad.
So you say that's where you go when she throws you out of the bed?
Yeah, dude. Like, well, it does lay out. I mean, we got that going. We'll be all right. But, it is the worst. I do this 24-hour live stream of video games every single year for a children's hospital, and that's the thing I sit on. And it's after like hour 7, man, my ass is like this flat. Like I can barely move.
You leave a Homer Simpson indention in the seat of it.
Yeah, I got to get my ass groove in there. It's the only way to make it work. So something I've been doing kind of in quarantine is I'm staying busy as much as I possibly can. I mean, everyone's saying like, oh, maybe you're just playing video games at home. It's like, no, I still go to work. I still do Zoom meetings with bands. I'm blogging, whatever. What are you guys doing? Like, obviously the album just about to drop tomorrow, man. That's exciting. So individually, what are you guys doing?
We're always together. Playing music. And we have a full studio. So we really dialed in with our engineer. And so we've really been working on that. We'll set it up, tear it down to go do a shelter in place. And then come back and put it all back up again. So in rehearsing and writing.
We're taking a lot of time right now to really like tweeze the studio, get it really cleaned up and like do all the stuff we wanted to do. Because normally when we get off tour, we got to get it all ready again to work in when we've been out on the road. And then when we go back on tour, we break everything down and leave again. So we're trying to get it more streamlined like that. And then we're also like going through and doing acoustic versions of the songs, and they're on the record and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've actually already started on the next record, and we got a few songs. 1 or 2 is already done as demos, and just writing. I mean, we have just bits and pieces that can become songs. So
yeah,
actually now too, we're gonna do a song with a producer engineer, Eddie Kramer. I don't know. Yeah, so I see that Kiss Army thing in the background, in the Hendrix shirt. Yeah. So he's done everybody from Beatles to Stones to Whitesnake to Zeppelin. He has a lot of. We did one of these Zoom things with him.
Wow.
And, he started to talk business, and we're like, so tell us a Zeppelin story.
He's
tell us a Stone story.
He's like, if you repeat this, mate.
Yeah, you better not repeat this, mate.
But he's in Toronto, so it's gonna be his first time, and it's so weird. He's been calling him nonstop because he wants material. He's like, give me some bits of songs, and we're gonna do a Zoom recording session.
He's gonna produce this via the internet.
Yeah.
So that's
coming up.
You just blew my mind in so many ways. First of all, you said the fact that you're recording something through like a Zoom meeting and being able to get the quality that he wants and all that stuff, and the fact also too that you said the name Eddie Kramer. That name is legendary. It's one of the most legendary recording names in music history.
Absolutely. He's one of our good friends. It's just it's really awesome.
Known him for years.
Yeah, we met him through Gene Simmons actually when we were in LA.
Because he's doing to me over here. You're killing me.
Oh, we got stories. We got stories for you, brother.
Yeah, we got stories. We got Gene Simmons stories for days.
And you can't no. You can't just say I have Gene Simmons stories for days and then it doesn't it there. No, you got to share with the Kiss fan over here at least one Gene Simmons story.
Well, we can combine it because it's a little longer one. So
okay.
I was staying at his house like for a while, I would go there. And
What?
Tell them why you're staying. Yeah. So he didn't just knock on the door. He's like, hey, you got an extra bedroom?
So there's a point I was kind of going to LA because you get on like a short list. There's like one guy in LA that puts all the bands together out there, and this is the guy that found Green Day. And you're in the business long enough, you get on his radar, and then he calls you, and he's like, hey, there's auditions for this guy and this guy. Well, Nick Simmons was putting the band together.
Oh.
And so I got a call, and I come down, and so I auditioned and got the gig, and like that day, and then Nick's like, hey, I want you to come. Will you come out to the house and meet the family? And I'm like, yes, please, So we went up there, and we hit it off, and I went up. They do just anytime I was in town, because they were always gone. And I used to be Family Jewels. That house is huge.
Oh, yeah.
So I got to stay there. And then, as I stayed there, I was like, tell Chico, I was like, you got to come by, meet Gene and everybody. So he was living in LA at the time. I was staying with them. And he comes and picks me up one day to go out. And so we were celebrating something. Probably just
we were actually going to go see Nick Simmons. He was doing a solo act over at
one of those clubs in LA.
Yeah, Sayers, I think.
Hipster clubs or whatnot. And so we went there, and I was like, hey, Gene, my drummer is coming in to pick me up. Can I bring him into the house and introduce him? Because the house is just like a Kiss music. His office is just
it's
amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's just amazing.
And so Gene is so nice to me. He's like, of course, come on in, bring him on in. So we got him. He's like, what's his name? And so he comes in, and the first thing he does is just like, cuss you out in Spanish.
Well, first thing he said, he's like, Chico, do you speak Spanish? And I'm like, a little bit. And then he just cusses me out in Spanish.
Off.
And he's like, do you know what I said? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you're a good man.
Yeah.
And he's like, do you want something to eat? Can I get you some cheese?
Yeah, he's so nice.
Yep.
But then the office is on the other side of the house. Like, I was like, hey, Gene, can I show Chico the office? Because the door to the office actually has like an iron rod door that separates the gate from the house.
Sounds about right.
Lock and key on it.
Yeah, so he's like, of course, mi casa, su casa. So him and I take off sprinting because you can run at full force in this house like you're running a marathon.
That's awesome.
We go in there, we're hanging out, and he puts this jacket on Chico, and he's like showing Chico all this stuff. I'm walking around the room. And we go to leave that night, and he's like, he like hollers from the porch. He's like, Josh, don't forget, he's like, don't drink. He's like, these are your money makers, because he's anti-alcohol, anti-drugs.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
And so I was like, all right, no problem. And he'd already had a 12-pack, so we cracked one before we got down the driveway. And so the night goes by, and at 2 a.m., we were heading back up to the house, and I had the gate code. So we don't have to ring it and let us in because it's 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. And we just pull up like nothing, and he's hammered, I'm hammered, and he just hits the call button.
Like that.
Uh-oh.
Rings every single phone in the entire
house.
compound. Starts going off. And I think I remember the time, it was like 2:32 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh,
And I
man.
just watched him, and it was like slow motion finger to the call button. It's like,
No.
the best thing I could do. So it rings, and after it rings, it felt like half an hour. Gene's voice comes on, and he's like, yes. And I'm like, I said, Gene, I'm so sorry. It's Josh. I didn't mean to ring that. And he's like, who?
Oh, no.
And he knew who I was like, it's Josh. I'm staying here at your house. He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, please. And then the gate opens. So we go in there, and we think we're in trouble. So like we sneak into the house real quiet, like, and they're on a total east wing, we're on the west wing or whatnot. And we get in the house, and as we finally get in the house, the sprinklers kick on, and he realizes he leaves his car windows down, so he's got to sneak back outside without making noise. We go back inside. We were so stressed. I knew
I'm sopping wet.
Yeah. And so we're just laying there, and we're just like trying to sleep, and I was just so angry because I knew I was getting thrown out. And he had a day job at the time, so he had to get up and go to work. And so he gets to work, and he's calling me. He's like, what's happening? Are they pissed? And I said, I just let him leave. I kept him hanging on.
Like every hour he'd be like, you will never believe this, ...
Oh, no.
And I heard the whole family down there, like, cooking breakfast, right? So I was, like, dreading going down there. But I finally sacked it up, put my pants on, and I walked down. And he always called me Rocker. So I walked downstairs and I walked in. There's Shannon and Nick and Sophie and Gene. They're all watching TV, making breakfast. And I walk in. I'm like, I'm so sorry about last night. And of course, everybody's attention's like, what? What did you do?
Oh no.
And I was like, and Gene's like, yeah, what'd you do? And I said, I rang at 2:30 in the morning. And Shannon was like, he's in KISS, right? He's been up at 2:30 in the morning. There was no problems. But when he called me, he's like, what happened? I'm like, oh man, they made me pack my stuff. I'm out the door. I cannot believe it. And so he's just like,
he kept it going all day. It was
Oh.
at 6 p.m. when I get off work, and he's like, don't worry.
I'm like, they were just messing with it.
I never sweat so much just sitting down.
Just that sense of stress overcoming you. Like, I just got him kicked out of the house, man. And oh my God. Yeah. Oh.
So that's our story. We woke up Gene Simmons of KISS at 2:30 in the morning, which he was probably up anyways.
That is a wonderful story. I loved that, man. That was that was great. And being a KISS fan, as much as I am, and hearing that someone had this unique personal connection in his house, mind you, that I don't know if I know anyone else that has a unique KISS story like that.
We got a few.
Yeah, that's just one.
We have more for other Zooms.
Yeah.
All right, then you know what? Next time you guys are in studio, where you got to talk about some story on air, another Zoom meeting. That's happening. It has to happen because seriously, when I say KISS fan, that's just one thing. Like, I have all the books, all the albums on vinyl, all the CDs, action figures, and I'm a
and the tramp stamp.
And the tramp stamp.
Well, he was so nice too, because they had a bunch of like merch in there, and I was like, I just asked him, like, Gene, can I grab a shirt? He's like, help yourself, just like, oh my God.
So we're like,
yeah,
take all. Man, I pay like $50 for one of those, and he's just like, yeah, here you go. I'm Gene Simmons. You can take what you want.
He's got a KISS coffin and a KISS Vespa. It wouldn't fit in my Scion.
I will tell you one thing. It was like, because he's got everything in the room. So as he's showing me stuff, we got these hockey puck looking things with his face on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you got hockey pucks? And he's like, wave your hand in front of it. You wave your hand in front of it, and it says shake. And he's like, hit it again. It's like, shake again. And then you hit it one more time, and it says, quit playing with yourself. It was a urinal cake. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was like, he had it like great, man. The guy's a genius.
He really is, man. When it comes to branding and stuff, that's why they always say KISS is not just a band, it's a brand. It's like, yeah, it is. It really is.
In the entire house.
Yeah, that you could play.
It was hanging on the wall, and it was signed by him.
I asked him, why don't you, how come you don't have a studio in your huge house? You have a tennis court with cobwebs on it, but you don't have, and he's like, why would I bring my work home? And it just blew my mind, because I live in a studio.
Right, yeah. But I mean, when you have the wealth and the fame that Gene Simmons has, he probably owns a couple studios somewhere else that you don't even know about. Right, yeah. It's like, I'll go to Electric Lady and we'll record with Paul and Tommy. It'll be great. Now, Jordan, I feel like you're just kind of sitting by. Were you part of any of this at all? I mean, was this before your time? Where were you during this time?
I was probably living in Los Angeles at the time, but I didn't know these guys. This was before the Black Moods, yeah. So I was out there on my own, again, before I met these guys and playing in a different band. So I was probably around. Yeah,
but
I definitely
probably drank at the same bar at the same time.
But I wasn't. Unfortunately, I didn't get any cool Gene Simmons stories. But I've met Nick. I've hung out with Nick, with these guys a few times out in LA. Nick Simmons. He's a 7-foot-tall giant.
Yeah. He's huge, especially next to me. It looks funny.
Josh is tall as hell, and he makes Josh looks like average, which makes Chico look like a midget.
Yeah. We all ran in the same group of friends too. Is what's crazy. So he knew the same people we did.
That's what happens. Like he said, it's like the one guy who books everything out in LA. It's like, he's right. Like, I know that one guy too. It's like when you know that one guy or whatever, it's like you start to, there's a small circle.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
It's all networking when it comes down to it. Networking, even in the radio world, one guy in radio that knows this guy that hung out with this guy that slept with this guy's wife.
Yeah,
right. Like that's radio in a nutshell, man.
That's how he got fired.
That's how he got fired.
And hired. And hired.
Right. Yeah. I mean, hell, even I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan before this. And mind you, that's not very far from Iowa, about a good 7 or 8 hours. But this guy hung out with this guy back in the day, and he's like, "Hey, Ned, I know someone in Iowa that has a job opening. Would you want it?" I'm like, I had never even thought of living in Iowa ever in my life, but here's an opportunity. And it's because this guy hung out with this guy who drank beer at this bar on this day. It's like, weird.
Yeah, totally wild.
Something tells me that I assume kind of the same way with artists and musicians, and especially like you say, the one guy in LA knows all the guys that hangs out with the other guy.
It's a small business for being as big as it is.
Yeah, it's cool. You got to get plugged into that chain, man.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I was auditioning for Katy Perry actually whenever I found out about.
What? How did that go?
Tell him about your airplane ride.
Oh yeah, so
okay, yeah, all right.
I got the call. I was in Phoenix, and I got the call from the guy. He said, "Katy Perry's taking auditions. Can you be here tomorrow?" And I'm in Phoenix, so I hopped a flight, and I mean, she's beautiful. That's what I know about Katy Perry. But as far as her track list, I wasn't ever rocking it. So I got on the airplane, and I'm cramming through all these, just listening over and over. And I'm sitting with my laptop on the plane, and it was a smaller plane, but it was packed. And so I'm listening to I Kissed a Girl, and I got my headphones in, and I'm like cranking it on my laptop, and it's just not getting any louder, and I can hear it. And then I noticed like the guy next to me looks over, and I turn around and I realized that I had my earbuds plugged in the wrong port. So I was cranking I Kissed a Girl, and I liked it.
Everybody was like, shut up.
And it was like 8 in the morning.
On repeat.
On repeat.
I don't know. I think the other one was that song "You're So Gay." Other songs she has.
It took him 4 songs to figure it out.
That was early. I was out of it. Man, I was just so angry at my laptop until I realized it was an operator.
I assume that guy that was sitting next to you, he probably, I don't know if someone didn't come up to you for a while, but he gave you like that eye turn in the roll at the same time, like, really?
Oh, yeah. And who knows how long he'd been staring at me because, one, it was early in the morning, I wasn't paying attention to anybody. And I realized it wasn't turning on. I looked at him. He was obviously not a big Katy Perry fan as he should have been.
I guess not. I guess.
Yeah.
A hit.
Yeah. But I mean, it ultimately worked out in a unique way. I mean, you're not playing with Katy Perry. You're obviously in Black Moods doing it up and doing what you guys do. So it's the way that the world kind of just unfolded in its own way.
And can you tell me who's playing guitar for Katy Perry?
I have no idea.
There you go.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because like I think of the guitarist, and there's this wonderful film that Jason Hook from Five Finger Death Punch made called Hired Guns. And it's all about session musicians, and it's a fantastic documentary. And I had no idea that Jason Hook, one, he was in the Alice Cooper band, which is awesome, but he was also with Hillary Duff for a while.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys.
Yeah, we know a lot of those cats. The guy that actually did the music for that is Johnny K, who produced our record.
Yeah.
There you go. See, again, it's that small world, man.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch that video, by the way, or that movie?
Oh yeah.
How did you feel about Billy Joel at the end of it?
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it's like,
like really,
it hurt.
You got to do that to your own guy.
I know. It's like,
see, that's why, like, that's the problem is because Billy, he's so up there now.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care, but you're like, he could still be a human being.
How many years was it? It was like 30 years he was with this guy. It was like 30 years, and then he just never got a call.
I'll never forget that when they're all getting on the plane to go back. It was like Mother's Day or something, or Easter, and the drummer, he's like, getting ready to get on the plane. They're like, no, and he's like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he said, Billy Joel wants to put his feet up. You don't have a ticket to get home to your family. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it was heartbreaking.
just doesn't make you feel good. Like, I mean, Billy Joel's music's great. We'll give it that, sure. But I'm just like, as a person, I'm like, I don't know if I like him anymore. Like,
that was tough.
Yeah, that actually happened recently too. I mean, I think everything's been kind of ironed out since then. I don't know. I'm not in the band, but with Aerosmith and Joey Kramer, and there was things kind of coming out about him and just like how they weren't letting him back into like some of their sessions and stuff. And Joey was really cool about it, which I was just like, whoa. and I'm like, wow, man. I'm like, the drummer from Aerosmith is not being allowed into Aerosmith sessions. I'm like, that just, it doesn't feel right, especially as a fan, you know?
Well, yeah, and he's always been the cool, quiet guy that's always been there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then for him to get back, they had him have to audition again, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, what? I've been doing this for 30 years.
Any other band or any business, I'm sure there's some sort of underlying reason why that they don't want public or something.
Yeah, there's
stuff,
stuff,
right?
No.
I'm sure there's stuff that they're just not telling people too.
It'll come out next book.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, the real truth, as it says. Actually, was it Rex Brown from Pantera wrote a book, 101, The Full Truth. I'm like, well, if the book is titled that, what am I getting into here?
Seriously.
That's one thing. Unfortunately, Pantera, as you know, Pantera, Dimebag Darrell, and Vinnie Paul, both of them passed away. The brothers Abbott, as we call them. And those are two guys I would have loved to have read a book about. I think they would have had some of the most interesting parties, because I was told, at least on the Dimebag Darrell and Vinnie Paul world, is that they were just those guys that always made you feel like they've known you for like 30 plus years. Yeah, and they if they weren't grilling in their backyard and you weren't there, it's like, well, you're not hanging out at that point. I would love to read a book by those guys.
I saw Vinnie Paul outside the Rainbow Room one time. I was getting an Uber, like calling an Uber.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this guy, like this homeless guy comes up and he starts like singing this song with this guitar that's way out of tune. But his voice was amazing. Amazing. Like this guy's voice, and like completely filthy, dirty guy coming up, super humble. And I'm just sitting there like kind of like, like, okay, get away from me, kind of, whatever. I'm listening to him, not giving him the time, right? And I'm waiting for my Uber with Nazim. All of a sudden, Vinnie Paul walks out of the Rainbow Room with one of his friends, and he's like kind of tipsy. He walks right up to the guy and just starts singing this song with him, like just amazing. And like these guys, like the energy, like between the two of them, they're just like headbanging this song together and dancing. And there was like so much love in like this little moment. I sat there and I was like, holy crap. You know what I mean? Like I took it the wrong way completely. Like I was like, you get away. And Vinnie Paul comes up and he's like hugging the guy. You know what I mean? And I saw that and I was like, man, like that's what's up. You know what I mean? That's
his whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. Chugging it all up down, man. Man, I had no idea that you guys had such unique story. I mean, even that one with Vinnie Paul, it's like Vinnie Paul's not walking down the streets in Iowa,
Yeah.
I mean, and
everybody goes to the Rainbow Room, though.
Oh yeah,
it's like a historical, very dirty hole.
If I'm correct, that's Lemmy's bar. If I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Many times.
Yeah.
I'll share one little story of mine, because I'm like, I feel like we're all sharing stories essentially right now. Yeah. But there was a time that Motorhead was at a place called the Orbit Room, and I was a Motorhead fan. I was working in radio. I was just this little intern, like, I hope someone notices me someday. And I was just sitting there waiting for the doors to open because I had all my radio stuff set up. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, Lemmy just walks around, and I'm just like, oh, that's rock royalty right there, man. Holy crap, he's right here. And I'm jumping at this opportunity because I'm just this little intern who's just starting radio. I'm like, oh my God, Lemmy. And I kept my cool though, of course, and as much as I could. And I walked up to him like, Lemmy, I love you. I appreciate everything you guys do. I'm like, would you mind if I get a picture with you? He's like, oh yeah, you should, man. In his Lemmy way. And then I asked the dumbest question I'll always never forget. I'll never forget it. So Lemmy, what are you drinking? And his only reply to me, Jack and Coke, what the fuck do you think it is? I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. You already knew right when you said it. I'm
like, yep, everyone knows it's Jack and Coke. I'm like, what? They just call it the Lemmy at this point. I'm like, Ned, you stupid dumbass. What are you doing? Oh man, holy! I'm so happy that you guys everyone has like a rock and roll story, especially in the radio or even especially in the artist industry, and just and people love hearing that, and especially I'll plug him because damn it I will. Lou Brutus, his new book right here.
Oh, good.
That's all it is. It's all like this kind of stuff, you know. I mean, and because of the internet and the way we have things now, so many people have access to that information, and it's so cool to be able to share that with you guys. So we've been jamming here for about a good 40 minutes, man. So I know you guys are probably actually about a good 50 minutes. Holy crap!
Already?
That's how friends communicate. Time flies like that.
It does, man. It does. It's the best. But we'll wrap it up because I know you guys want to go hang out, make some green chili spaghetti and some breakfast sandwiches and Bailey's coffee. So is there anything you guys want the fans to know? Obviously, with the new album dropping tomorrow, which is very exciting. Anything you guys want to get out there?
Live stream on Saturday, 8 o'clock Pacific time.
Yeah, go to our website for the web store.
And new merch.
Yeah, we just revamped our merch and we got a lot of cool stuff.
Vinyls will be out soon.
We got some quarantines.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice. Quarantines.
Yeah, so blackmoves.com and Saturday night, 8 p.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live.
Call and request. Sunshine.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Get it done. And congrats, guys, on all the amazing stuff that you guys are doing. So awesome to see Sunshine on the Billboard charts. And hopefully we'll see you all very, very damn soon.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Now, before we call it, we always have to, I have to put up a blog, up at rock108.com. So we have to have a still shot for the actual blog. So you come up with like a funny face or maybe just thumbs up or just smile. Be a nice little smile person or whatever. And and then in 3 seconds we'll get the still shot. So, all right, we're there he goes. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Awesome. I'm excited. All right, guys. Such a pleasure chatting with you guys, and I'll hopefully see you very soon. All right.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
brother.
Appreciate it, man. Nice to talk to you.
Keep in touch.
Absolutely, man. See you guys later.
All right.
Bye.